Hi everyone, Tanya Hertz here. I am Assistant Professor of Entrepreneurship at San Diego Miramar College. I'm also Lecturer of Entrepreneurship and Management at San Diego State University and Director of the Entrepreneurship Program and Regional Entrepreneurship Center in Miramar. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about prototyping. And don't be afraid when I say prototyping. Prototyping is not a difficult process. It's not as complicated as it sounds. And I'll show you the slides that I have here on prototyping. You should have them available in your class as well. That's not them. Prototyping, there they are. So there are the slides on prototyping. And we are doing very easy prototyping, very early stage prototyping. And we're building our prototype based on our pre-model canvas that we've created through the class that we've used to evaluate our idea. And after we've gone through the process of determining whether our idea is highly impactful, is feasible, is a venture worth pursuing, we need to create a prototype so that we can show our idea, our offering to the potential customers, to potential investors, clients, to anyone, any outsider who might want to see our product. This is how we get feedback. This is how we decide whether we need to pivot or iterate the design and try something different, right? So when we're creating the prototype, a prototype, first of all, is a very rudimentary model of our offering. It is the first iteration of our offering. Our offering is our product or service, our core offering, our fundamental benefit that we're providing for our customers, that pain that we're solving. And we are creating a phase one prototype. This is also sometimes called a looks like model or a predotype. We give it a different name because it's just the early stage prototype of testing the core idea and the form, not the function. Do not spend time creating a functional prototype. You're just spending the amount of time you need to make something that shows your core benefit of your product to users. Right? You make it from paper, you make it from clay, you make a drawing, you can do it from used yogurt containers. It is not testing function. It's just a simple design to show people what we're selling, essentially. So there are three typical stages in prototyping. A looks like prototype, which we're testing form, not function, just what the product looks like. A works like prototype, which is actually testing functionality. And we won't get too much into this stage, but when we are in the works like prototyping stage, we want to try to independently test each function if we can so that we can isolate the variables, to use a scientific term. And then the final stage of the prototyping is tests like, and that's where we're actually testing both functionality and user interface, how the user interfaces or uses our product or service, right? Not just how it functions. Okay, so keep it simple, silly. I didn't want to say stupid because all of us are not stupid, we're smart. Keep it simple, smarty. Don't spend any more time or effort on your prototype than absolutely necessary. If you are spending hours and hours on your prototype, getting every little thing right, or paying somebody a lot of money to make a prototype for you, you're doing it wrong. Okay, please don't spend time. It's wasted time. It's wasted time and effort because you should be focusing on making sure that you're figuring out what it is that your customer wants, not making something pretty and that functions well and that it has all these extra features. Adding extra features will not only distract from the focus of your core offering, it oftentimes makes entrepreneurs want to keep components that the research or customer is telling us, I don't want, you should ditch this. But we spent so long creating it and making it look pretty that we're sad to throw it away. So keep it quick, keep it dirty. Like I always say in entrepreneurship, you want to start small so that you can grow big. The same is true in prototyping. You want to keep it very focused on what it is that you're testing. And at the beginning, you're just testing the idea, the core idea. right? So eventually the goal is to create an MVP, a minimally viable product, and then get that out to the market as soon as possible and test it in the market by letting our users, our buyers, our customers try it and tell us what they think. But we learn by doing. So every prototype, I don't care what business model it is, must have a prototype attached to it. I hope I didn't think I said that very clear. You have to make a prototype no matter what the structure of your business is. So it's easy if you have something like an app, right? If we have an app, you can go online. There's so many sites out there, free app prototype creator. You can even, like what I did here, is you just take a picture of a smartphone and it has the center of the picture. I just put a picture on top of it, and you just want to put enough of the screens in there to show the core offering of what your app is about, right? Or your platform is about. A service can be prototyped. You can just draw it out, simple, right? What's happening at the front of the house, what's happening at the back of the house. If it's an experience, right? The customer journey through our process, just draw it out. If it's a restaurant, maybe you might want to draw a menu if the menu is what the core offering is. If it's more about the experience, maybe you'll want something that shows what the experience is like at the restaurant. So in technology too, the simpler the better. The core offering. Don't get into the details. You've heard me say sometimes, don't talk about functionality right now. Don't talk about all the little features. These are things that are exciting for us. We want to think about them, but really it's not up to us to think about them. It's up to the, eventually, but it's up to the customer to say, yeah, I want this, or, oh, I'd like to have that. At the beginning, we're just saying, we think that the main thing that you want is this. Are we right? Is that true? Here, look at this and tell us, do you want this, right? That's basically, this is design thinking, what we're doing, right? The beginning of design thinking, the beginning of the lean process. And if it's a product, it can be as simple as this, right? Sunglasses that have a battery and a camera mic. These are sunglasses that record what you're saying and doing. There we go. There's our prototype. Simple. Now, if the technology does not exist yet, or you do not know how to create the technology, that does not mean that you cannot prototype your idea. I'm going to move this over, because we can do something that I like to call pretendotyping. Now, I heard that term originally from his name is Alex Bruton, who came to the California Entrepreneurship Educators Conference in, I believe it was like 2016 or 2017. It was a while ago. And he was talking a little bit about how he was teaching his students to go through the lean methodology and to come up with ideas for businesses, to test them for potential, and the same thing that we do in our kind of classes. And he used the term pretendotype, and he used it very similar to the term that a lot of people use, which is pretotype, which is a very simple version of a prototype. It doesn't really function, right? It's just you're pretending that that's what it is. Now, I've also heard it used for, I'll tell you this example. So this was an example of IBM in the 1980s who wanted to come up with this talk-to-text technology. And they thought, this is a great idea, right? But we need to test it. Every idea needs to be tested. So they said, well, let's do, we can't do a prototype because we don't really know how to get to the functionality. The technology doesn't exist yet, but do customers want it if we could spend the time and money creating this technology? So what they did was they put potential customers in a room. They had them talk, like this woman is here, into a microphone, and they told them, we are testing our new talk-to-text feature. So talk into the microphone and you'll see the text come up on your screen. I love Professor Hertz's class. Oh, thank you very much. That's what she said. But that was really not what was happening. The technology didn't exist, right? So what was happening is she was talking into the microphone. In the back room, they had this crazy fast typist who's typing away like a mad fool while she was talking, and the text was coming up. This is the way that I use the term pretendotype. If it doesn't exist yet, so what? Pretend, right? Fake it till you make it. If they want it, then you spend the time, the effort, the energy to build it, not beforehand. That's essentially that's at the core root of prototyping, right? Letting the customers tell us, what it is that we should do, not the other way around. This is pull marketing. It's pull entrepreneurship rather than pushing our ideas onto them and down their throats. This is part of the rapid prototyping process. Now, rapid prototyping technically means prototyping fast by using technology such as 3D printers, and usually it's made out of these plastic or these resins, so that you can prototype quickly. You can get a design quickly, where you used to have to spend just so much money and time doing it. Often, though, the term is used, rapid prototyping, just to mean that we're creating a very simple, simplified version of the prototype, and then iterating very quickly based on what the customers say to us. So the purpose of that lean model, the pre-lean model canvas, the pre-model canvas that we do in this class, is to tell us, are we ready to go on into the testing phase? Should we create a prototype, and then should we show this to potential customers? And as long as you've done everything right and you've figured out what to change with your models based on your secondary research, now hopefully you found that you do have an idea that does have pretty high value and that could potentially be a real company and make you some money. So again, like I said, the goal with the prototyping process is eventually to get to an MVP, a minimally viable product. And that's the pared down, simple version of our business. It's a lot more polished than a prototype, because it's functional. And not only is it functional, but it should be very, very user-friendly. It should take into account user interface, and it should be very limited in terms of bugs or problems or things gone wrong, because this is basically a prototype for testing our idea in the market on our customers when they give us money, buying it. Right? So I'll give just a quick example of an MVP. Right now, I'm developing an entrepreneurship center, an incubator on the Miramar campus. And I have so many ideas. Let me tell you, I want this thing to be amazing, and I want to develop inside of it. I want a rapid prototyping lab, a design thinking center. I want everything. I want every piece of expensive equipment that I can buy, and I want every toy that I can play with, and I'm so excited about it. But I can't do it all at the beginning, right? The goal is to get it into the customer's hands as soon as humanly possible. And the customers, in my case, are the students. And so I'm going to have an MVP starting next semester of an entrepreneurship center that might not be as pretty as I want it. It might not have all of the toys that I want to have in there, but it'll have that core offering, which is support for new entrepreneurs. Simple as that, right? That's my MVP. All right. So like I said, this is part of the design thinking process. And design thinking process is the process that we're essentially using, which really focuses on the customers. It's really focusing on understanding the users, testing any assumption that we have or guess that we have about our idea by showing our prototypes to customers, and then saying, okay, what do you think? What do we change about this? A lot of what we do in this class in entrepreneurship has been based on that design thinking process, because it's such an effective process. It's the way that you create companies that are high value, gazelle type, high growth ventures. And I've been so impressed with the ideas you guys have come up with. I've seen so many aha moments in your teams and individually as students, where you just, like, something clicked and you got it, and all of a sudden you came with an idea that was so to now you have this idea that I so many of my seriously think could be big companies if you're passionate about them, right? If you're passionate, I don't want to push you into anything. So prototyping. Tests form, not function. A lot of benefits. I don't want you testing functionality, so don't show me 50 billion, exaggerate, too many features. I just want the core features, and I don't want it to work. I just want it to be, hey, look at this, right? It is kind of a pretendotype that we're making. We'll be using this later to show to people, to get feedback, so that we can save money on designers. We shouldn't be paying designers at this point to create prototypes. Later, though, when we're creating the later stage prototypes, most of us, we don't know how to build tech things. I don't know how to, but it doesn't mean I don't want to start tech companies. It just means that I have to have something to show them. I'm building a prototype right now of our website. It's not going to function. It's just going to be something that I can hand over and then say, make this, right? Here's all the content, make it work, right? To the developer, saves me money, time. Here's some good prototyping tools. I like the Sketch tool, Just in Mind tool. This is a good site right here for telling you how to prototype an app if you're a non-designer. Here's also a tutorial on how to prototype an app just using PowerPoint, which is awesome because most of us in this day and age, when we give our pitch decks, we use PowerPoint. Wherever you're giving, if you're giving it to Y Combinator or to Evo Nexus or to the on-campus incubator, the regional entrepreneurship center, we use PowerPoint, right? So you can do that. You can also just sketch it out on a piece of paper. That works. That's prototype, right? Just make sure it's big enough so that people can see. All right, I can't wait to see your prototypes. I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you all in class.